Yeah, let's bring out Blake Griffin is here and Andrew Schulz. Let's bring those two guys out.
Andrew Santino.
Isn't Andrew Schulz walked in too?
Andrew
Santino
here?
is here as well. Yes, bring all three of them out.
Schulz walk in.
Yeah, I saw Schulz. All three of them just come out together.
Oh, where's that fashion song? Fashion.
Where's it now? Andrew Santino as well.
Andrew Schulz.
Hi, Andrew.
Blake Griffin is here. Blake is the taller of the pair.
Yeah.
Just in case there's any confusion.
Hi, everybody.
Nice morning.
Yeah.
You sound like Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah,
It's weird being in front of an audience in the morning, isn't it?
yeah. I couldn't believe that people were going to be I shouldn't say that to start out, but I didn't even understand what was going on. I didn't know if this was like a conference or something. But
Yeah, well, it's a panel. It's a panel discussion.
so are we going live on Sirius as well?
This is our morning
live
show.
right
Oh, yeah.
Whoa! What's up, guys?
Yeah, this is the show that we do in the morning.
You know you're my favorite,
I know.
and I have a show with a radio guy.
Right, and still.
And you guys are my favorite still.
Well, I appreciate that. And Blake Griffin, you seem a little more comfortable being here than Andrew Schulz does.
Yeah, I do this all the time.
Yeah, you understand doing press in the morning.
It's,
That's when shows are on.
exactly.
Yeah.
People are up. People want to listen to stuff.
I'm trying to get comfy here.
Yeah, it's kind of hard. It's good that you guys didn't spread out over two couches.
I wish.
How do
I lay down.
Yeah.
Go ahead, put your feet
Well,
up, relax.
I wish you had your mustache still, because we looked so much alike, and a lot of people were like, Matteo, your comedy's gotten so offensive, and I was like, no, that's Andrew Schulz. I'm not. Don't.
Dude, I had a horrible, Matteo Lane mustache that I was trying to make work for that. It was really bad.
I mean, that's not that complimentary to Matteo, is the thing.
No, because his is like thick and like
see.
Italian, and mine was like
Go
the most Scottish version of Dude,
It's a Breaking Bad mustache.
It was like John Waters. He like just penciled it in.
I believe that Bryan Cranston once described it as like impish. Was that the word he used? An impish mustache?
They said mine looked like bean sprouts.
Oh.
That's
But you
sad.
were holding on to it
Man,
for a
I was
minute.
trying so hard.
Yeah, at the
dude.
cellar, you're like, I'm keeping it. Ladies love it. I'm keeping it.
Yeah,
And then,
yeah.
like,
Did
a week
ladies
later,
love
was
it?
gone.
Or was that something you were just kind of telling yourself?
I think I kept telling myself that,
Right.
and then it was more guys. So, I was like, I get the Matteo thing. I get it. I got it.
Yeah. So Blake, how long have you been doing stand-up? Because I met you like 2 years ago. I think you were hosting a show up here. That's how I met you.
Yeah, 3 years ago I did. I hosted the Midnight Surprise Show.
3 years ago that was?
Yeah, time flies.
Yeah, I know.
I remember you were walking around and everyone was losing their mind. And I'm like, so, no offense, but I was like, who is this? And then and I walked up to you and I was like, I need a photo. All my straight friends would love if I got a photo with you. I had no idea what sport
Did
you
they love
nothing. Yeah, they were like, how the fuck did you meet him? And I was like, he was walking around and taking pictures with everybody.
Yeah, so I started maybe like 4 years ago. Did some stuff in LA, then did some stuff here, and have kind of just done random stuff here and there, and now I'm here.
But you must love it though, because you make you make money, doing what you do for a living. You don't need this. So
You mean
must
playing
just-
basketball?
Yeah, that's what I mean. There's so much money there.
You do make money playing basketball, right? Like
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, only during the season.
hopefully it's enough to tide you over in the off
I'm
season.
getting by.
Okay, good.
Take this water and then
Pinching every penny.
But you must just love doing stand-up.
I just love stand-up in general. I try not to like go do like a show and like take somebody's spot. So I like hosting stuff. My charity events here, so I get a chance to like bring up 5 comedians who I really like.
Well, you've won every comedian over already. That's all you have to do. You don't take our spots and give us spots? Yeah, you're
I'd
in.
say that up front.
That's all I would do if I was really famous, is take people's spots.
People.
I fucking love to. I'd walk in with my jersey on. I'm going on next. All right.
When is Bobby on?
Did you have to figure that out? Like that was the way to handle this? Like, did you have to figure out the comedy community once you started getting in, or did you realize that's kind of the way all these, kind of inside communities work?
I mean, I just I would hate for a comedian to come take somebody's spot on my team. So
Right.
Yeah, just
But-
wait. I'll show up next week.
I just kind of like that was kind of my approach from the beginning. I didn't really have to like get into that after I got into like a fight with a comedian, So that's just how it's been since the beginning.
I had a nightmare last night. It's funny you said that. I had a dream last night that a girl came to see me at the Comedy Cellar. That's it. No. And Chappelle bumped me. That was just my dream, that I was trying to like be, that I was doing something and Dave Chappelle came in and bumped me, and it was humiliating.
Dude, when I
That's means life is pretty good if that's your worst nightmare. Fucking Chappelle went on first.
when I like auditioned for the Cellar the first time, I got bumped by Chappelle on Friday and then Rock on Saturday.
So did you not get to audition?
I did like maybe the following week, but like I don't remember if you guys remember when you auditioned, but it was the most nerve-wracking week of my life. And finally Friday comes around, I'm like, all right, fuck it, I'm ready to go. And then Chappelle comes in, you're like, all right, I mean that's a pretty cool thing. I get to watch Chappelle, I'll do it tomorrow. And then Rock comes in, and it was like, Jesus. 2 weeks of sustained nerves.
Did you complain to the management?
I went right to Esty.
Good.
I told her how I felt. I would
This
like
is bullshit.
my 5 minutes.
I had a scheduled time on stage.
I didn't have any stock in the Cellar when I auditioned. It was weird. Like this guy, Rick Dorfman, was my manager at the time, and he got me into Dangerfields and the Cellar the same day.
Oh, wow.
And he's like, "You have an audition." I think it was like 95 or 96, and it was less pressure than there is now.
When did because I mean the Cellar's always been the Cellar, but like when did it become?
It wasn't always like that. It was one long show, and you would have a lot of time we'd want to do food spots at night. Like the late night spots were all for food,
right?
And they were 10-minute spots, and there were 6 people on a Monday. Sometimes it was empty.
Wow,
it was empty a lot. Colin going in there really helped it a lot because it brought like Seinfeld and a lot of other guys back in.
Yeah, was that when the turnaround was for
I
it?
think so. Yeah, Colin had a lot to do with that, which I hate to say.
I have a question. Is this story true?
Oh boy,
It's an old Cellar story. I think you're there for.
Oh, I thought you meant the one I just told. I'm like, believe me, I would make up a better story than that. Like, really, sometimes on a Monday, 6 people. Wake up! What a shit story that would be to make up.
So you're sometimes in this story, but I'm not sure if it's true. Like you hear like these back table stories all the time, and it's a story about there's a comic from like Ohio. This was like back in the day. He was bringing his CD at the time to audition, right? And he just kind of showed up, went to the back table. You're there, Patrice is there, a few other guys are there, and he goes, "Hey guys, do you think you could give this to the owner of the club?" And then Patrice goes, "Yeah, sure, let me see it." And then opens the CD case, takes the CD, and just snaps it on the side of the table. Puts it back in the case and then hands it to the guy. Is that true?
I was not there if that happened, or I don't remember it.
and that doesn't sound like anything Patrice would do anyway.
Not at all.
No, he wasn't rude like that. No.
I mean, it sounds so exactly something Patrice would do. Like, how can I make this guy feel like an ass and get a huge laugh? Give me that CD snap.
I've actually never heard that, but if I was there, I don't remember it. But it's very possible.
Isn't that amazing that there are so many stories like that Jim is saying it's possible that I forgot it?
possible.
Like I might have forgotten that story ever happened.
Yeah, I more remember showing Patrice my erection in a brothel in Rio de Janeiro.
Is that a true story?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking 100 milligram Cialis rod.
What did he think?
You know, we giggled. It was true. We had robes on, and you wore robes in the brothel, and it was like 2003, and I had a fucking 100 milligram Viagra hard on under my robe. We're sipping Diet Coke, and I just looked down at my dick tenting out, and we just giggled like children. Like, what are we doing here? We're in a third world country, just fucking girls for $50.
100 milligrams is a lot then.
Yeah,
for Viagra. Okay.
Yeah, me and Keith were doing 100 milligrams a night. It was crazy.
my God.
See, you guys need stories. You young comics need stories like these guys. You don't have any brothel,
Yeah, I think we're
100
a lot
milligram.
softer.
Yeah.
But I do like sitting at the table when it's Keith and you and Bobby and Rich. Like it does, you do get that feeling of like
the best.
Yeah, it's more. You got to be on your toes.
Yeah, I mean, I hear like young comics. We're probably like the generation below you guys talking, and they're like,
no
"Oh,
longer young.
yeah, I
No
know,
longer young.
I know, you're not." And you're like, "Oh, I just got enough followers that people can swipe up on my Instagram." And I'm like, "What happened to the
actually,
erections
the
in Rio de
conversations-
Janeiro?"
Yeah.
Give me a phone.
Put it back.
Swipe this.
The conversations now at the Cellar are being literally arguing over how many Delta points you have.
Oh my!
Just being like, oh my God, who? Like me and Jared Fried are like, I'm almost diamond. Like that's the conversations we're having now.
Is Andrew Santino here? I saw him backstage.
Yeah, he's back
Oh,
there.
I meant for him to come out too. Bring him out.
Bring
He's up
Andrew
just sitting back
Santino
there.
out to join us.
And he can sit with us. And
If he's back there.
he has a
Andrew-
podcast called Whiskey Ginger. So I'm sorry, we called
Bring
you, but
out
you didn't hear
Andrew.
us.
There's Andrew
Yeah, sorry.
Santino.
Santino.
Hey, bravo, eccolo.
Andrew Santino.
Sorry, I was napping.
That's okay.
Sorry, I had no idea. They didn't tell me to go out. That dude, where is he? You know where you are. He said, don't go yet.
Who
Where
said
is
that?
he? Yes, you
Roland.
did.
Roland.
Oh, Roland.
Roland, you.
That's
Yeah.
all right. You wrote "Don't go yet." He's also said that in cancer wards. He's very dramatic.
Now, Blake, not that the gentlemen that we're here with aren't also high profile, but do you worry when you go up on stage to even just, open a show, do 5 minutes, whatever it is, do you have that realization that, like, okay, because I'm a professional athlete and I'm a high profile person, whatever I say, if it's anything controversial, people are going to want to make a story out of it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm pretty somewhat careful a little bit.
Like Schulz.
Yeah, exactly. Like all these guys. I try. I mean, I obviously try not to get myself in trouble, but I guess the more and more I do it, the more I push the envelope here and there.
Yeah.
Because it seems like a good time to start pushing the envelope.
Sure, yeah. It's a lot easier than it's ever been.
You are doing the anti-Semitic show at midnight. That's going to be good. You guys can make it out for that.
Doesn't John Sally do stand-up too? He used to play for the Pistons. I heard he did stand-up.
I don't know.
Who?
John Sally.
Did John Sally?
Does he really do
That's the thing
stand-up?
about playing basketball.
I'd like to
is
see
people-
him with 100 milligram Viagra.
It's really cool. When you play basketball, people exclusively ask you questions about other basketball players.
Yeah, it's the same as comedy
And,
too.
like, I don't really know John Sally, to be honest.
Yeah, I hear Kareem likes donuts,
Oh, he does.
especially since it's an old school. I'm not even asking about anybody irrelevant.
No. Do you want to, like, when you perform now, are you looking at this like, okay, once I'm done being an athlete, this is something that I want to get into full time?
I don't know. I don't know about getting into it full time, but it's something I love. I love watching since I was a kid and been a fan. I like go to the Comedy Store in LA and just sit and watch.
Who are some of your favorite comics growing up and then now?
Growing up, like I would watch like Pryor, Murphy, and as I got older, Rock, Chappelle, then obviously you three. So.
Not safe.
Andrew Santino.
Have you bombed yet? Like, I mean, really bombed?
Yeah, like real though.
Not like real. I haven't done enough. I skipped the step of like having to go up and like make a name for myself in a way. Just because every time I do it, I feel like most people.
Well,
It helps, but it's not a guarantee. Eventually, it'll happen.
You're
It's
right.
part of it. Yeah.
100%.
But you're-
you know what's crazy is everybody tells me that. So every time I go up, I'm like, this could be it.
Yeah, but it's okay when it happens. You'll survive it. It won't be a big deal.
But Blake Griffin is smart because the old Seinfeld quote is that when you're famous, you get a 5-minute buffer,
That's
and
right,
then
yeah.
after that, you have to actually perform.
Be funny.
So Blake
Yeah.
goes, how about I go up and do 5 minutes? All right, for your next comic.
Wow, that was 4:55 on the nose. Well,
I was looking from backstage. I was like sneak and peek. I couldn't tell when I saw your legs in those Birkenstocks. I thought that was Matteo's legs. I had no idea. You got nice stems, bro. I didn't know.
I'll work.
I work.
yeah,
Work.
notoriously long toes.
Yeah.
Fucking should be opening a door with those. Fucking Velociraptor.
Yeah, you have, what size shoe do you wear?
Stop it.
Are you kidding me? This guy has fucking skis on his feet over here. What are you, Blake? What are you?
Blake got me, bro.
16.
Size 16. Yeah.
I'm 9. I'm a small
Half.
Italian man.
Yeah.
I'm tall for Italy.
So what is your podcast? I was watching some of it, and what you just interview people, or is there?
Yeah, we usually have a drink, but now everybody's fucking sober, so
Right.
it's crazy. Like it started with me having a drink with friends and talking shit, and then so many people came on. Like Bobby Lee comes on all the time, and Bobby's sober, and now more and more people. Like I'm doing it here. Black Thought is coming on, and Black Thought is like
Who's Black Thought?
from the Roots.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he's sober too. So I was like, fuck, I'm gonna be the only motherfucker drinking on
It's
this.
nice that Bobby Lee has gotten sober and so level-headed.
Yeah,
You
he's
know
trying
what
to
I
calm
mean?
down. I think he's allowed to show his penis once a week now instead of every day. Yeah. There's that old like people, the
He
micro
showed
penis.
the audience his pubes last night. It was so funny.
Did he? That's just one. That's
1,200 people, and they didn't like a joke, and he goes, pube tip, or something like that. It's like, what?
There was a woman. There was a woman at the Comedy Store. This is true. There was a woman at the Comedy Store that was complaining that he was like taking his pants off on stage. Mm-hmm. But no shit, she was like, "Well, I didn't really see his penis." So I'm not gonna like file a formal complaint because he does notoriously have a small penis.
Yeah.
It hides behind his pubes. So when he shows it, sometimes you don't know if it's
Wait,
out
how much
or
pubes does he have, or how small is his penis?
it's a duality there.
A lot and a little.
It's turned into an optical illusion at this point.
It's a magic eye. If you get close enough, you back up.
Yeah,
It turns
you
into
kind
a
of
boat.
cross your eyes and uncross.
Yeah.
You ever see how a
That's how you start
sunflower
by
face
getting
looks surrounded by the little?
It's like that little baby in the sun on the Teletubbies. Yeah.
Little tiny penis.
But that's another thing too. Comics now. I mean, talking about like back in the day, everyone. I feel like so many people are sober now. You talk, you sit at the table at the Cellar, and everybody's just like, "Oh no, I'm only water, like or only coffee."
It's a new
or
wave.
not
I might be
drinking."
the only guy that still drinks. I don't know. Do you drink? Do you drink?
I like literally make once every 4 months.
God, that
I
makes me
just
so
don't like
mad.
drinking.
No one does it anymore.
Yeah.
Do you drink, Schultz?
Yeah, more so now that everybody's sober.
You just have to push back.
I love that Andrew's like,
disgusted
with the
by
way everyone's going, I'm walking the other way.
Do you like
No,
having
I
some
do
drinks?
drink a little, yeah.
Yeah, I drink.
You do. I knew I liked you so much. Yeah, people are so sober now in the game. It's really kind of weird. Like your generation of guys got sober.
Yeah.
And then
But you guys needed it.
I started sober though. I was sober young, and it's like thank God because social media. I think that sobers a lot of people up too, and they're like, "Fuck, man." There's Twitter, there's Instagram, there's all these places to go and ruin your career with one line that you didn't have before. You know, when I started, you couldn't go out and fuck your career up with one line from home.
Yeah, but that's because you were also an unemotional, attention-seeking
Yes,
drunk.
I was. I was a little emo lesbian. Yes, I was.
It's crazy that all comics are becoming sober and all athletes are alcoholics. Should be the other way around.
Should have been a fucking athlete.
Still can.
There's hope.
Yeah, there's hope.
Yeah, but I don't know how anybody performs like, as an athlete fucked up. Like I don't know how guys go through that and get fucked up and still succeed doing that.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, maybe not like while we're playing, but I just feel like most athletes drink.
They said
Guys
that
would be on the
Rodman used to
sauce,
do
right?
that, though. Rodman used to like.
Sam Perkins.
I guess
with-
I shouldn't have said alcoholic, but like most athletes just drink, you know.
Right.
A lot.
Yeah, you would have to drink a lot, right? You're big people.
You sound like my little niece. You're big people.
You're big people.
You can have all of it. No, but baseball players, they drink more than any athlete I've ever met. Like hanging out with baseball players, some not name names, but like some guys I know, they can party all fucking night and then go play.
That's because
a day game.
an average baseball player has like 98 seconds of actual play time,
Yeah.
like aggressive athleticism in a
Right.
day, and then they're done.
Yeah, they didn't get to hang out.
Yeah.
Well, David
Do you
Wells
know guys
wasn't
that
he?
drink and then they go play?
Like the night before?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Damn. Do you get liquored up and then go play the next day?
No, not me. Never.
This fucking PR guy's like,
Didn't David Wells almost throw a perfect game? Like he was
He
such a
did.
fucking mess.
Yeah.
Oh, was it the
David
perfect
Wells.
game that he was
Yeah,
fun for
I
the
think
he pitched
so.
for the Yankees many years ago?
He didn't look like a drunk.
No, I know. He's such a great fat every guy body. By the way, baseball coming back to Montreal. You guys are going to share it with
Yeah.
Florida. You must be psyched.
Yeah, half a team, huh? That's fun.
look at their not one person. Everybody's like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, it wasn't even disinterest. It was like, yeah? Like I hadn't heard that.
Really?
What do you guys like up here? Hockey. Oh, that's right. Wow.
This guy. You look, what is this guy like?
I said he looked like his Monster Energy drink he was drinking earlier. That was the only sport I did play when I was little was hockey. But I really just liked the skating aspect of it.
Who's your favorite hockey
I
player?
loved it.
Dorothy Hamill.
Nancy Kerrigan. Oh yeah.
After they fight, they should do like a little spin, don't you think? Wouldn't that
It'd be
improve it?
fabulous. But once I got to 13 and everyone got really mean, I quit and then went to musicals and drawing and stuff. And
I bet people stopped being mean to you then.
no, they were mean all through.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do they know in high school?
Oh yeah, because I have a joke. Where I'm like, my name is Matteo Lane, and no one ever
They
thought
know
of
he was
saying.
gay.
Yeah.
I was like, did they know you stopped playing hockey? Like, how fucking popular were you?
You loser, you stopped playing hockey. No, it just went straight to faggot. And no. But it's so funny because like I was trying to like act straight, but I was working at Michael's and And I know there's nothing like I get pussy when can I help you craft is on your apron. But I was dating a girl who worked at Michael's. Her name was Francesca, and I broke up with her in the yarn section. I did. I was like, Francesca to the yarn section, please. She's like, what is it? I'm like, it's not gonna work. I mean, I was just my fledgling homosexual. I was so gay.
How long did you date her for?
Like I think a month. I mean, I have no idea.
Did you have sex with her?
Are you out of your mind? No. Look at me. I'm a gold star gay, which means
you never at all.
No.
Now there's also one like where
platinum, where if you were C-section.
Yeah, you didn't even touch a pussy.
Mm-hmm.
I read about this.
Yeah. I love how you said I read about this like it was in Newsweek.
No, I read either. Wait, maybe
probably a meme or something.
It was a meme or two.
Yeah.
I was like,
Can you just
that's
break
incredible.
down all the levels for me?
Well, all right.
That's a phone.
C-section gay. That is the gayest thing.
It's a phone call from your mom. I was reading an article about platinum gays. Which level are you, Matteo?
Just classic fag. But yeah, but then there's like animals in the because I don't like that we gays will like name body types after animals in the animal kingdom. So like bears, cubs, otters,
seal.
lynx. No. And what do
they call the gay guys to just go?
They call him a good sport. But I think it makes me mad because lesbians don't do that. No lesbians like I'm a Furby, But like gays really take it to a whole other level.
Did you have like a fake female celebrity crush? It was a cover.
No, I didn't even have the confidence. You know what I mean?
Because my brother's gay, and before he came out, he would walk around telling everybody, he's like, "Oh, I have the biggest crush on Jennifer Love Hewitt."
Yeah, it's
I'm
always
like, it's just the easiest. Like nobody's gonna question.
It's a hacky crush.
Yeah,
It's a hacky crush.
Yeah, it's a hacky crush.
I had a crush on Jennifer Love Hewitt,
Yeah,
but
maybe
maybe I was
sure.
hiding something.
I think so. We're getting there.
Maybe I'm really a raccoon.
Well, we're putting the pieces together. The mustache, the legs, Jennifer Love Hewitt. By the end of this, you'll be in a sundress.
That's how you get a deal at Montreal.
No, it's
Matteo,
not.
who was your crush?
Wait, what did you ask?
Who was your crush when you were young?
Like a celebrity crush?
Yeah, who was your celebrity crush?
I don't think I had a celebrity crush. I remember loving Arnold Schwarzenegger when I was younger, which
Nice.
is also kind of hack. But I remember also watching Commando, thinking like I could help him on his missions. Like he needed like a young gay spy to help him fight crime.
But everybody that lifts weights, gay or not, has a crush on Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, well now I don't. As an adult, I'm not attracted to him now. But yeah, as a kid, I don't know. I mean, I don't think I had like a celebrity crush as a kid. But yeah, I mean, I probably would have picked someone hacky like Halle Berry. Like she's so pretty that gays are like, she's so pretty. Like, you can always tell when someone's gay when they're not out of the closet when they're describing a woman because every guy's like, I fucked her and this and her pussy. And gay guy's like, it's her eyes.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm really
like
into.
her eyes.
I like the face.
Yeah.
Like I like a pretty face.
Her teeth. Yeah.
I liked Christy McNichol growing up. That was my crush.
Excuse me, who? Christy
I don't know who that
McNichol.
Is that her name?
Jim grew up in a
what was she
generation
in?
gone by. Like,
Yeah, it was her and Tatum O'Neal. They were in a movie called Little Darlings with Armand Desante.
thank God you're here.
Christy
This is what I deal with
McNichol.
every morning. And he's sitting there in the room with just me going, you don't know this?
Christy McNichol was a very famous.
I'm mesmerized by her name. That cannot
Christy
be her
McNichol.
birth
She was
name.
kind of tomboyish. She was very cute. She was a big actress in this. Nobody knows Christy McNichol?
Come on, guys. Christy
McNichol's
McNichol.
a real name. That's not like a racial.
Can somebody
I'm
Google
imagining
Christy
a chubby
McNichol?
Irish woman.
I was imagining an Irish Jew.
Do you remember
Nicole?
You remember Kathy Ireland? Do you remember her?
Sure,
do,
yeah, yeah.
sure.
She was I was in love
The
with her.
Ginge
dude.
thing, is that? It was a little bit.
The Ireland thing really set me on. I like that shit. And to find out that wasn't her real last name.
Yeah.
Of course not.
Pissed me off.
Got
Ruined my whole
upset by it.
childhood. And my father bought me a fucking Kathy Ireland poster and like a real douchebag in front of my sister. He was like, "Don't wear it out." And I was like, "Oh, fucking don't wear it out." I'm not gonna come on my wall. I'm gonna come on my chest like a grown up.
Come on my chest.
You found her, right? Christy McNichol.
Well, yeah, she has. We can.
She was
confirm.
tomboyish, yeah.
Remember my kid sister and my buddy? She looks like a kid sister.
Yeah, she was tomboyish, but her and Tatum O'Neal were the two cute teenagers back then. It was like which
This
one?
is
Weird.
good. She's like the Stranger Things kid.
Yeah, she's very cute.
You had crushes on tomboys and
She's
Chastity
like a young
Bono.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah, she does. Yes, but
yeah.
with female genitals.
What'd you say? She looked.
No, is that true? Does she have a dick, Jamie Lee Curtis?
No,
It's
no,
not
no.
true.
Have a dick.
It's not
No.
true.
Not true.
Yeah.
I think
Y'all gotta stop playing with me because I'm gonna run with this one.
A lot of people say both. A lot of people
I've heard
say both.
hermaphrodite, but I guess it's just I'm guessing big
How
vagina.
did that rumor start? Because then she did that movie with John
guessing-
Travolta, which let's not even get started with her.
Yeah.
Oh, with the air humping?
Yeah, where she's like humping. I mean, it's like, okay, we get it. You have a vagina.
What was the movie with Travolta where they just boo each other's genitals?
Yeah, I don't know the movie. I just know the meme.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
just
the
that
meme
little
where
gif
she's
that's
humping.
passed around where they hump. They're just air humping,
And she's wearing,
staring
like,
at
a
each other.
thong.
Yeah,
Oh,
great.
I don't know.
yeah. Now, Andrew Schulz.
Yeah.
You're at this big Just for Laughs comedy festival.
Yeah.
A lot of industry here.
Yeah.
You've spent the better part of a year declaring yourself as anti-industry. It's done
Not anti, just not necessary.
It's done very well for you.
Yeah.
How do they react to you here now that it's like, okay, he's been successful going against the industry
I just told them I wouldn't go unless they did exactly what I wanted.
and a lot of money?
No, they didn't pay a lot of money.
No, they don't.
But
They don't have any
I really
fucking
want to do the nasty show.
You're upset about it.
They don't pay us any fucking money.
Yeah, no, I did the net because I saw Patrice do the nasty show. Like I would watch videos on YouTube.
I
And
see.
You know, Patrice is like the best to me ever. So I was like,
Him and
if
Joan
I
are my
do-
favorite comics.
Joan, amazing too. I saw Joan. Matter of fact, last time I was up here, I saw Joan, and she opened up something with like Mexicans are ugly. And then the crowd was like, ooh. And then the line was, you never seen someone walk into a plastic surgery and go, make me Consuela.
What's funny is
And then she died.
Getting plastic surgery.
That's right.
I know. I'm part Mexican too, and I love.
And you
her.
still love it.
I love Joan.
She's the best.
I could do no wrong.
But I was like, if I come up, like, one, it's cool to hang out with comics, obviously, and then two, like, I just want to do the exact shows that I want to do, and they were cool enough to let me do the nasty show, and then the unsafe set show, and the inside joke show, and then yeah, and I was like, yeah, let's do it, let's make it happen.
Perfect.
For sure. Yeah.
Perfect.
You've also carved out your career now to a point where I think you it was almost like one day, and I know you didn't, but it was almost like one day you turned to the whole comedy community, you're like, I'm going.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then we're like, okay, let's see what happens. And then you came back, you're like, I succeeded. And so people are like, oh, I respect that.
It was one day though. That I was up for a show for Vice, and then they're like, no, and I was like, if I don't get this, I'm just going all in on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I didn't, and I just went all in on YouTube. And then
What was
it
the
worked
show?
out. It was like the show that would come after Jesus and Mero. Remember Jesus and Mero? had a
Sure,
show,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then they left. They went
Love
to Showtime.
Jesus and Mero.
Yeah.
And the show was gonna fail. I knew it, but it was like my last time where I was like, "Will I get it?" And I hated that fucking feeling of "Will I get it?" It's the most vulnerable, stupid feeling in the world. It's like, do I want my whole life to be this?
Yeah.
Do I want every like pilot season to be? Am I gonna get this show? And I was like, "Fuck it, I'll just make my own shows." And then people started watching them, and comics were supportive. And then
I don't
that's
audition,
cool.
by the way.
You're done.
I refuse. It's from the beginning.
Yeah.
First of all,
Stupid.
every role written for gay people, it's just like you're always like the bitchy best friend. So like
Yeah.
I've literally read scripts where it's like, "What's the sitch?" And and I am that character, but I'm
Yeah.
still like, no. And I just don't like the idea of like me working my ass off every night and like doing
For
well
nothing.
and working my craft, and then someone I don't know is like, "All right, tell us your name," and then you go action. It's like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Did you care to act ever though, or what?
Yeah, but I will just, and I know this sounds so arrogant, but I'll just figure it out. I'll write myself into something or be put into. I can't with the auditions and the waiting and the. That's why I used to have a joke. I'm like, I don't understand. Like, I never said I wanted to be an actor, and then all of a sudden your manager's like, go audition,
Right.
and the role's like Zach, 19, football player. Well, Zach's gonna have a secret to share with everyone. What do you want me to do? So I'm the same way. I admire you for that because I'm not as confident as you, but part of me is like, yeah, fuck that. I'm not doing the audition thing. I'm gonna figure it out.
It's exhausting and it's
Yeah.
depressing. My manager, I'm going to point out, he'll go, I got an audition. I go, why?
Right.
For what? It's not going to happen, but I still do them.
Andrew Santino, you get a lot of acting work.
Yeah, but
you do very well.
My favorite shit to go out for, like, they don't know what to do with the redhead. Like, redhead's just weird. You know, like, there's never been a script
What a
that's like, and a
plight in
handsome
life.
redhead walks in the room. Like, there's never. So every time I go out, it's always like me, a black guy, a blind kid. I swear to God, I'm always like in the other category.
Yeah.
So then I had to kind of do my own thing enough where they started to go, oh, we know where to put him. Because for a long time, it was no shit. Like I walked, Ian Edwards is a great stand-up. And Ian Edwards and I went out for the same role twice. And
You look almost identical.
Yes, yeah. And as I walked in the room in very Ian Edwards fashion, he goes, "This is ridiculous." And I was like, "This is ridiculous. I don't need to be here. This is so stupid." Yeah, but it took me for a long time to find out what I wanted to do. So I don't say, I'm not like these guys. I won't like not audition. These guys are superstars. You know, they don't audition anymore.
I'm living in a studio.
Don't forget it.
Yeah.
No, but I just don't. I just am more particular about
No,
what I
but
do
you're a
now.
thespian, bro.
You are a thespian.
Like
Yes,
you're an
yeah.
actor. Like you're good at acting. You probably studied acting.
Nope.
Never?
Nope.
Oh,
Yeah,
my bad.
this is
I thought-
it's a mask. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. No, I just kept pretending until they said yes. I just kept lying until they were like, "Oh, he's good," and then I was like, "Oh, yeah, okay, I'm in the thing."
I always thought you had an acting background as well.
No.
Oh.
Dude, I went to Arizona State University.
They don't have a good acting program.
I was a journalism dropout. I'm
I
garbage.
think my problem is, which I should get over, it's egotistical, but it's an authority problem. I just don't like authority, and so I don't like being out of control and people trying to tell you what your worth is. I'm like, I never said I wanted to be an actor, so I'm so confused why me doing comedy led to me having to do all these auditions.
Because that was
and
the
everything
traditional
else.
platform,
Right,
right?
and so I'm
Yeah.
just like, well, I've never been traditional anyways. I'm one of the few gays, 99.9% of the time when I'm on a show, I'm the only gay on the show, and I'm the only gay in the room.
You
So-
know what's weird about being gay besides all the gay shit? It's like, no, I thought about this for acting purposes. Like,
Okay.
when you...
Yeah, we know.
No,
Let's
no.
qualify that first of all.
Yeah.
No, think about it, because like when you... Like when any of us becomes like a Power Ranger or something like that, that's acceptable, right? Or if I'm gonna play like a fucking Avatar, that's totally fine, right? But
A
when
Na'vi?
a gay guy plays a straight dude in a movie, people are like, how the fuck could Doogie Howser make out with that girl?
I know. By the way, that's the only example I can think of too.
But for real, so it's like, I feel for you in terms of acting, because for whatever reason, we rarely accept
Hey
that.
guys,
I understand the closet.
they just gave us a note, so I have to read it. They said Blake has to go because you have an interview at 9:40.
Oh, no.
Blake, you're welcome to stay, but they just gave us this note.
Well, real quick, Blake.
What is it like being a gay NBA player?
John Sally.
Do you have to go through rejection, Blake, or are you guys so trained to play like a champion that you just don't, you can't think on a level that I might fail today?
No, I mean, I guess there's some guys, I admire some guys with like the most insane confidence. They think every shot's going in. They think they're going to win every game. They think they're going to make the game-winning shot every play. But
That's not you.
Like our rejection is losing, and everybody across America talking shit about you for a couple
Ever,
days until
yeah.
you play again.
When one guy misses a free throw, it's always fun to watch. Like when a relief pitcher gives up a home run. If a guy misses a free throw, the players always like pat him. That happens. But how much do you fucking hate him?
It's one of those things where you might miss the next one, so you don't want to.
But do people walk in the locker room really kind of going like, oh, he sucks. We knew it. They do.
I gotta say thank you to Blake, because Blake did me a real solid. We did a film together for Whitney Cummings, right? And there was a line in the film where we're like wrestling, and then I say,
Scoos?
and I said one of the lines, I was like, the only team that wants you is your legal team, right? And the line was kind of flat.
Yeah.
But then you got traded in real life, so it really worked out for me.
Thanks. So thank you. Well, Blake, you're going to have to
Thanks for that, bro.
visit us.
I went into the front office. I was like, guys.
Do you know what? I have
Schulz
a
is
funny story. When I was a kid, I did a thing where I had a Coke and Mean Joe Green threw his jersey at
Oh,
me.
my God.
Hey, kid.
Catch.
Blake, please visit us when you're in New York, for sure. You can see Comedy by Blake tomorrow at 9:30 at the 5th Room at the Place des Arts.
Place des Arts, yeah. And it's Blake Griffin 23 on Twitter. But it's good seeing you, man. I wish you could stay till the
thank
end.
you, guys.
Let's
told
give
me
a round of
already.
applause for
Anytime.
Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin, everybody. You're a great man. Shaking hands. Look at that.
Do I got to come over
Thanks
there
a
now?
lot, man.
Come on over,
Appreciate it. Look at those zipper pockets on basketball shorts. That's incredible. That's incredible.
I'll come over.
Look, Andrew Santino joining the comedy couch. This is so intimate.
You know,
This
it's
is
interesting.
so
We were talking
intimate.
about acting and being gay and all that stuff, but even in comedy too. You know, it's true because like in comedy, like it's still like to be a gay man doing comedy is still like not as prevalent. It's the most prevalent it's ever been.
Yeah.
But then people always get shocked. 'Cause I'm like, yeah, name a gay male comedian.
Lisa Lampanelli?
Who's at the level of Bill Burr, who's had a special.
Yeah.
Who's out.
The only person I think of
Ellen.
is Marion Cantone.
Yeah, Mario Cantone
Yeah.
is like, and he doesn't get the credit he deserves because he was who?
Todd Glass.
Yeah.
But he was.
He's not at Bill
closeted.
Burr level. Like Bill's doing like arenas. Like I mean,
Yeah.
on that level.
And I think too, like out. Has anyone ever been out and like?
Yeah.
Well, we had that conversation at the Cellar. You
There's
were
some people that we can, wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
We're not going to get
closeted.
it.
we'll get brunch.
Closeted.
We'll go eat
No,
after
but
this.
we were talking about like the gay community supporting like gay males instead of like females. Like so often the gay community comes out for like female singers,
Yeah,
and that
yeah.
kind of shit like that, like a Barbara Streisand or Lady Gaga or Madonna
Liza.
or Liza. Yeah, and then it's like, when is that sport going to happen for dudes? And
I
then
think
you-
it's actually happening now.
You said that show. What-
Yeah,
what-
RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yeah, the
'Cause,
RuPaul's Drag
like
Race.
comedian, like Joel Kim Booster, Julio Torres, Solomon Giorgio. There's a lot of queer comics that are really doing awesome things. Jabuki, and it's the first time it's ever really happened. So it's exciting to see. Like anytime, like Joel just got like an NBC show. I'm like, that's so exciting because it's like finally people are recognizing gay people can do more than be like a bitchy best friend at a wedding movie or something. But yeah, RuPaul's Drag Race. Which does anyone watch that show here? Right.
I can't get through an
No, this-
episode.
this
But yeah,
show is-
Monster Energy drink is watching. Let's not. Don't lie about that. He's getting off the bike and he's turning it
the
on.
first time a show has been on TV usually when they make movies or TV shows about gay people, were like it's made for straight people, so
Right.
it's like Serious or Dying of AIDS or like Queer Eye, which I also love, but it's all about fixing straight people's lives. RuPaul's Drag Race is the first show for queer people by queer people,
Right.
And they don't give a shit if straight people don't understand it, and so
Right.
it's exposed all these different types of lives, and it's allowed us to like appreciate gay men in a way that we haven't before, and trans women, and different all walks of life. So it's just, I don't know, it's really changed the way the queer community has looked at itself in, I think, a very positive way.
RuPaul got so much shit for the language. It really annoyed me. People got mad at RuPaul for saying like for the she-male and like saying that RuPaul was
Was she saying she-male or?
Okay,
You
so
instead of the male
tranny.
coming in, the she-male or tranny or
Tranny,
words like that.
tranny,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, but there was wasn't there a thing on there called the she-male or
yeah,
something?
they had a section like, girl, you got she-male, which means like that was like the message in the show where all the queens
Oh, like
went
instead
up
of
to-
email, it's she-male.
Yes.
Yeah.
I get that.
All,
That's cute.
And
That's
the whole
fine.
show is puns like
But
that.
he got shit for it. It was like he's pretty much he's a trendy. I was not trendy. He broke a lot of barriers and people get pissed off at him. I'm babbling.
Yeah.
No, I'm babbling. I'm babbling too. Sorry, I'm
But he
babbling
pushed
too much.
back, right? Like there was a thing where
Well.
I'm not poly.
It's a really delicate statement.
I fell into that one, guys.
Andrew Santino,
Yeah.
I don't know you, but I'm just based on some of your responses, and I hope you don't take offense to this, and some of the stories I was listening to you tell on like YouTube and stuff like that. You strike me as a person that's quick to anger and does not avoid confrontation.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Okay, all right.
I do get angry easily. Yeah.
seems like
and the
that.
most annoying part about it is like people always, because I'm a redhead, people right away they're like, Bill Burr, that's like a Bill. He's like, what is it? Taking Bill Burr's personality? It's like I'm just an angry person. It's
Yeah.
like, I just get mad at stuff sometimes.
Are you Irish?
Yeah, and Italian.
wow.
Santino. Yeah,
Yeah,
Because when I just mentioned money to Schulz, I was talking to Schulz, and you were like, "They don't give us any fucking money here." Okay, yeah, there it is.
That's all I'm thinking about the whole festival in my hotel. I'm like, they don't have any fucking money. I'm not going to pay any money. I'm not going to do it. But no, I just kind of have not a negative disposition, but I have an attitude about everything. My dad was a drug addict. He wasn't around. We want to get into it. You guys want to buckle in for this?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
What kind of drugs did he
Don't you
do?
think that's why you found success? People don't want to hear comics go up on stage and say, I had a lovely dinner last night.
Yeah.
I want to hear someone angry.
Probably a middle
It's a
ground we could get to.
catharsis.
We could probably get to a middle
I could
ground.
balance it out. But like, I don't want to mention his name, but I'm working on a project with somebody who I went out to dinner with, who's very successful, and
Harvey Weinstein.
thank you.
Like Susan Boyle's not funny. Mateo, come on.
Come on, Mateo, fast.
Thank God you said Harvey Weinstein. I was like, oh.
I would
Thank
no.
you,
I
Andrew.
wish. I wish I would have been in more shit. But it was.
Bagging groceries in the UK.
Anyway, this guy was just saying to me how he was like, we were just talking about our lives and where we're from because we didn't really know each other, and he was basically just like, everything I've ever wanted has happened for me. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah, I've really not had a lot of struggle. My family life is great. Like, and it made me so annoyed. I was so angry.
You were pissed.
Yeah.
Because I was like, most people that have that situation don't really even want to get in the business. If everything is perfect, you wouldn't get into this.
Yeah, but I mean, like for you, you're sitting there like comedy's doing pretty well for you. I would say you got quite a name for yourself.
Yeah.
Your podcast is doing really well.
Yeah.
You're in great movies. You're in great TV
Still
series.
mad.
I don't understand why you wouldn't say everything I've ever wanted for myself I've gotten.
Because I don't know. Because I think
Because fuck them, right?
yeah, fuck 'em.
Yeah, I get that.
Fuck 'em.
I get
but don't
that.
you inherently always want more? I mean, like look at look at your success, Jim. Like look at your success. Like don't you always still want
You really
more?
passed that away from me quickly, huh?
Well,
you know.
yeah, obviously.
Jim.
But no,
Well, you know what I mean, though. It's just kind of like you.
Sam's got life figured out, bro.
I'm not
Sure. Drive
not
halfway to
joking.
Montreal, go back, come on up. You always think like it's a fear that, first of all, whenever you get where you think you want it to be, you're like, oh, there's so much more stuff. But it's also you're afraid of like, if I'm not unhappy or angry, do I lose my motive? It's a scary thing. Like, what am I the same person if I don't feel this way anymore?
There's a boxer named Bernard Hopkins. Remember? Bernard Hopkins?
Sure.
And
His last fight didn't go well.
Love him.
And he always had to have the villain. Like he also always had to be the villain.
Play the
rather.
shoe,
He had to,
yeah,
he had
play
to
the
be
shoe,
the heel in order to like motivate himself for the fights. And then it was a weird time in his career where he got so popular that people started to like him. But he didn't understand how to play that role. Like he played the role of stomping on the flag of the guy who was fighting. And eventually you either, I guess, use it as motivation your whole time, or maybe you can get to like a Namaste Sam level where
That's right.
everything's like this guy really, I'm not joking around, has life figured out, man.
Why?
Tell me why.
I mean, you'd have
Look
to
at his hair.
No, like you just accept
I would
shit.
say that's the thing that's not figured out.
There's nothing a
You
bullet
accept
couldn't
shit,
fix.
right? It's like
It'd be at least horribly disfigured if that were to happen. At least.
But it's kind of like you know how I don't know if maybe Chappelle said it or somebody was saying. Someone was saying how like some of the worst things that can happen to a comic is like a lot of success and money, and I don't know if that's necessarily true, but I know what they're saying. You know what I mean? Like I know the idea that it's like the more things that do come your way, and when life gets kind of good and comfortable, you can kind of fuck this thing up because like the more comfortable you get, the more you're like look, I
Start taking things for granted.
yeah, and you kind of just like you get look. We just got a house, and it was a huge accomplishment to fucking get a house. I was like, wow, I feel really good. But there's moments when I'm like, I can't think about it like that. I can't be like comfy in my backyard being like, yeah, comedy bought me a house. Because then you get to a point of like in your own
It has to
world.
be, how the fuck am I going to pay this mortgage?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It feels better to me
I
to be
wonder if it's
threatened.
not so much about like I don't know if it's like about always staying angry because I think a lot of comics will like keep themselves in a position to like feel like they're going uphill because that gives them some motivation, something
Right.
to talk about. If you get too much, then you feel like you're at the top of the hill and you've got to. I feel like the motivation has to come from some other like some form of needing to express yourself, and maybe you just do that easy with anger.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not always. You know me. I'm not always angry.
I don't find
think you're always
Santino
angry.
angry.
You don't think he's an angry person?
No, I don't think he's an angry person, but maybe we've just always kind of, when we've hung out, it's always been pretty relaxed and chill.
Yeah. But I do. There is a thing that snaps. I mean, dude, in the fucking airport, I have no patience. I have bad patience. I'm terrible with that.
Yeah.
And I'm in the airport in the long line to get through the fucking customs, and Finesse Mitchell is like on the other end of the customs. He can see me getting annoyed from 150 yards away.
Is he sympathetic to you?
He just knows me enough to know.
Or is he enjoying it?
He just goes, Santino, you're gonna get kicked out this airport. He can tell I'm doing like the old man, like, well, where's the line start? And where's it end? You know, like, and I just think like it's just a part of my fabric of who I am. It's also my whole family is like that. Like everyone gets annoyed at everything. So
Where were you
fast.
raised?
Where are you from?
Chicago.
I'm from Chicago.
Are you?
Yeah.
Look at
Grew
this.
up in Arlington Heights and then Roscoe Village.
Arlington Heights. My grandfather worked at the track.
Oh, I grew up next to the track.
Did you really?
Yeah.
People don't. There's.
Do you guys ever see the Sears Tower? Local flavor.
A little something for the local.
It's the Willis Tower.
Oh,
Thank
it's
you.
always gonna be the
No, it's Sears Tower. No, my
What do you guys call it? Do you call it
grandfather's
the-
the degenerate gambling addict who worked at the dog
So he's
track.
Italian?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sicilian. Yeah.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
worked
of course.
at the track, and his paychecks went back to the track. He lost 2 houses.
Your
The
dad?
track was always a bunch of old wops sitting
Yeah.
there screaming at horses. Yeah.
I never knew my grandfather was like involved with, the mob is a cheap word. I don't know. With people.
My grandma's family was.
Yeah, I didn't know until I got older,
Naples.
because then all his friends were like, Joe the Hat was his best friend, and I was like, Joe the Hat's not a legitimate fucking human being. That's
But he gambled
I love
away
that
2
name.
houses.
2 houses. Yeah, lost twice. Lost two houses twice.
Oh, my God.
What women put up with back then, like
Yeah.
gambling with their money. She's like, you son of a bitch! I've got 5 kids at home. Like,
We're gonna be fine. Don't worry.
I brought you eggs, you know. And he's alive, and my grandma's fucking dead. But he lived through.
Still gambling?
He lived. Oh fuck yeah, he'll never stop gambling.
no.
They go to the boat. You know, they go to the boat.
Yes.
In Chicago, in Chicago, you got to go to the river boat. You can't-
Chi-town.
Yeah, you're not supposed to gamble. No.
Have a little deep dish.
That's like the big
I
apple.
do love deep dish at Little Maddie's. I do.
I'd rather be
And
out of a
turned
diaper.
I do too, but I think pub
At
pizza
Lou's.
is better.
Well, you like.
Where?
Pub pizza, like Pequods, like flat pizza, like square
Pequods. Yeah, I do
pizza.
like Pequods, yeah.
You've always liked when people say Chicagoland.
Yeah, I love that. It's a cool name for it.
Chicago.
The Chicagoland area. Yeah.
Chicagoland area.
Yeah. We
It
like
is.
visiting the Chicagoland area.
The Drudge Report always does that. Chicagoland. Shut up.
Where are you from?
I'm from New York, Manhattan. I grew
Yeah,
up
you
in
seem
Manhattan.
very New York.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
But have you ever ended up, Santino, like in a scenario where like your patience, you've lost your patience, you're now in an argument with somebody, and you realize once you're in the argument, oh no, I'm the asshole here, and I can't get out of this.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. I ran into. I'm walking down the street with my fucking wife, and we run into a girl that I did a show with, and I was so excited. I was so excited to see her. She gets out of her car, and this guy is trying to parallel park in front of her. And he's getting like super close. I can tell he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. So I'm kind of like doing one of these, like looking at him, like, hey, slow down. You know, he's like coming up on the curb. Then he backs up and he smashes into her car. And it's not bad. It's just like it's a bump. But he gets out and I lose it. And I decide I'm going to be the fucking hero. And I'm like, you hit her fucking car. And I'm showing off a little bit. And I'm thinking I'm like Mr. Tough Guy. And in the middle of yelling at this guy, I realize like I'm telling him, give her money. Give her some fucking money. And this poor like 65-year-old man is like taking money out of his wallet. Yeah. So I made him give her money.
You guys have car insurance.
Yeah, I was such a piece of shit. I like realized in the middle
I
of it.
put myself in his
would I-
position, handing her money.
Yeah. I mean, dude, I'm yelling at this guy, and he's literally giving her hundreds of dollars, and she's crying, and yeah. So
But
anyway,
don't you think that's?
Well, no one handled that well.
oh no, dude, my wife walked away. She was like, "Fuck this shit." She just left, and me and this girl, and she's like, "It's okay." I'm like, "It's not okay. You fucking hit her car." And he's like, "What do you want me to do?" I'm like, "Give her money, motherfucker." And he's pulling out money. In the middle of it, I can see from 10,000 feet, someone's like, "That guy's a bad guy."
Yeah, somebody's got to pull you aside and go, you're not angry about the car.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
understand right now you're not angry about the car?
He's a therapist. He just hugs me. He's like, it's okay.
Don't you think that's a comics thing? Don't you think that comics share, like, you'll be, like, if I'm with friends or, like, on a date or something, I am so looking at everyone around me and like, anger, like, why isn't she wearing makeup? What are they doing? Why isn't that table talking? What the hell is going, and they're like, why aren't you just concentrating on what's happening here? I'm like, I think that's a common thing that comics shares. We're constantly looking around us like, look at that asshole.
Sensitive.
A comics thing too is also yelling at an old man. Like if that guy was Blake Griffin, you'd probably be like, "Are you okay, sir? Did you hurt yourself?"
Did you want to hit her car again? Would you do this again? Yeah, but living in the moment is a hard thing for comics to do. I think that's so funny that people are
Very
like, "Oh,
hard
live in the
to
moment, live in the moment," and it's one of the hardest things.
That's why we like the stage, because we're forced to live in the moment.
Yes. Being on stage,
15 minutes.
living in the moment.
Yeah.
Look at that.
dropping jewels, man.
So honestly, it's weird. Like when I'm like really stressed about shit, I can't wait to be on stage.
Same.
Because I know like for that time, that's the only thing I can think about. Takes all my attention.
Yeah,
When you guys go
right.
on stage, do you approach it like, okay, put my problems behind me and go up on stage and do my act, or are you just like, I'm in a bad mood, I'm gonna be in a bad mood?
I'm gonna go up there and prowl that stage like a panther.
Do you know what the most infuriating thing I've ever seen is? Like he says, prowl the stage like a panther. I saw Jim do a New Year's Eve show, and it wasn't really part of his tour, and he had already filmed the special, so he didn't really like care. Like he was doing a good show, but he didn't care. And he actually on stage goes, sometimes I like to get up here and just prowl like a panther. And he actually started throwing the microphone from hand to hand and prowling like a panther.
like you were in Cats.
That's right.
Yes. And it was infuriating
confident man
to
does.
watch him enjoy himself so much in a theater. You really did enjoy that, though.
I certainly did.
Yes, you did.
Well, do you like to answer your question a little bit? Like sometimes there's days where like if I'm in a fight with somebody or like something's going on and bullshit, like it's hard to not take it to the stage.
Yeah.
But also there is that switch that you just have to put on that thing. And it goes away, but the moment I walk off stage, it like comes back.
comes
in my
right
mind.
back.
Yeah, it's so fucked up.
Do you have bits that like they require a certain energy?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Like this bit is maybe I'm more angry. This bit I'm more like goofy with it. But then if you're angry and you try to be goofy in that bit, you just sound like a piece of fucking garbage.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, why are you so pissed off at like children or whatever it is? You know.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It seemed like a mean
tricky.
guy. I don't know.
Yeah.
He'd be mean.
Dude, but that's a tricky thing when it like about needing like the villain or like needing something to overcome, and why I think when people get successful they end up like killing themselves, they get so sad, is like sometimes you get everything you wanted and then you realize that wasn't enough.
Right, this is it?
Yeah, that's why people kill them. Like all these like rockers, like they're like their whole lives they're like, I'm gonna be happy once I'm touring around the world and I'm selling out stadiums, and then they do it and they're still miserable and they're like, oh fuck, it's me. I might as well kill myself.
Well, you also have nothing else to put off. Like, because you're like, all right, I got to do this, but first. And then once there's no more but first, you're like, oh, fuck. That was
Yeah, I'm not going to kill myself until I achieve these goals. And then you achieve these goals, and you're like, well, I guess there's one goal left.
I've always said I'm too selfish to kill myself. Like I'd want to know. I just want to know what's next.
You want to see the response.
Yeah, so bad.
Yeah,
So
wait till
distressing.
everybody's just heartbroken.
What are they
and
gonna
I'm left
say
just
about me? Yeah, that's I always think like
You're like, I'll just go in a coma instead.
I just want to stick around and watch the janitor have to clean it up.
Jim dead with one eye open, like that.
Get your mop, shithead.
How quick before Sam takes her name off the show?
Oh my God.
Wiping it.
I'm sitting there with an X-Acto knife on these plastic banners, like, no,
it's
we're
already
good.
ready. He has his act ready to go.
He'd be doing it while he was on the phone. Really? How did he do it? He'd be fucking...
I just got electrical tape, so I don't have to actually scratch anything. Just cover it.
Jim and Sam were here.
He'd want us to continue the next.
And I
day.
really wouldn't. I
Yo,
wouldn't.
Sam. So I feel like you have it all figured out.
Well, I don't know about that.
I
That's
feel
a
you
big
have it all
statement.
figured out, and sometimes we have these conversations, off air.
Sure.
But you have an amazing disposition for this business, right? You seem like a pretty happy-go-lucky guy. You seem to have goals, but you don't seem to be so obsessed to the point of misery in trying to like obtain them. And shit just keeps working out for you.
It's weird to listen to somebody who's obviously never met Sam Roberts.
Well, I mean, a lot of that's been beaten out of me too. You know what I mean?
No.
Like the sort of like, oh, I have to do this. I'm going to do it. It's like, no, it's not. Let's just keep following the course. Let's just keep following the course, and it's going to work out.
But what is the course?
I was just gonna ask the
that's
same
the hardest part for most people, right? Like that's probably the most oftenly asked question to me. If it's
just
a young
do
comic.
the work. Just keep doing the work. It's all I ever think about. It's all I do. Just keep doing the work. Keep getting on stage more and more. Keep doing more of these shows. If you're going to launch a podcast, but just keep doing the work. And I mean, it's not like
So consistency, just having some kind
just
of
work.
consistency. People
And make
will
the work
eventually
good, and don't sit there and go like, if I just make the work good, eventually it'll pay off. Just do it for the sake of the work.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work out, at least the work was good.
Well, it's hard in this industry because people can drive themselves crazy. It's very competitive, and you look, you're always looking over your shoulder. Well, they've got this, they've got that. What am I gonna do? How am I gonna afford rent? How am I? There's so much. It's hard to just keep staying the course.
It's also like there's a tremendous, like I've gotten to this place in life where it takes 2 seconds for me to look at somebody and go, oh, fuck him. You know what I mean?
I do it every morning.
Like who?
Wait, I understand, Jim, but what do you mean by that?
Like just looking at people and going, oh, fuck off. Fuck
You see
off
the inauthenticity. You see
of everything. And you just go,
Really?
fuck off.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that makes you go through your day a little bit easier.
Yeah, it doesn't. Like, fuck off.
Yeah, because
you know?
he's faking.
Yeah, or it's all fake. It's all
Smoke and mirrors.
I mean, I also grew up watching wrestling, so the idea of everything being fake,
You love it.
it's fine.
yeah.
It's not even like, oh, this is better. It's just like it's accepted.
Don't you think that a part of that staying the course is like knowing your lane though? I think that's the most like that's
Yeah,
something
don't
that's
just
the
do
difficult
what
part.
you're
your
good
fucking
at.
lane. Yeah,
do
'cause
what you're good at.
You see guys that like there's a guy there's a comic that you may not know, but he
Susan Boyle.
yes.
Damn it.
But he was talking to me a long time ago. He was like, how come I can't get in the Comedy Store? And I said, well, I don't think it's your scene. Like I don't think it's not his brand of humor
Right.
that's going to fit in that thing. And he was so concerned about it. And I said, dude, you're so good at this thing that you do. And he was doing like churches. Like he was doing fucking churches in the Midwest.
Joel Olstein?
John?
No, John Christ. John Christ. Yeah, John Christ. So this kid, John
He's
Christ,
massive now.
dude.
Yeah.
So this is crazy. This is like 10 years ago, and he was talking to me. He was like, "I just want to get in so bad. How do I get in there?" Da, da, da. And I was like, "Dude, just focus on this thing that you're doing. You're so fucking good at that."
Yeah.
Right.
And look at him now, dude. He sells
Murdering,
out
yeah.
massive theaters.
What does he do? He's religious. He's very like
Yeah,
clean.
he does a lot of religious. He's clean, but he does for. It's not like he's like.
You won't think when you just
then you
look at
feel like
him
you're
and you
being
watch him on
tricked.
Instagram, you're like, oh no, you wouldn't assume that he is like a Christian comic. Does
But
that
he-
make sense?
that's exactly right.
But
But he-
that is his scene for sure.
But he does a good job of like kind of merging these worlds of still being true to his humor for a Christian audience. And
Yes.
it just happens to be clean. Do you know what I mean?
right.
But it's he's so fucking successful. I mean, you've seen like,
Yeah.
and I keep, he hit me a couple of months ago and he was like, hey, I want you to come be with me at the Wiltern night because it's like a big deal. And he sold out the fucking 2 shows at the Wiltern in Los Angeles, which is massive.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if I opened for him?
Yeah.
It was just
Everybody
lightning
sets on
would
fire.
strike.
I literally have a bit where I say Jesus is Jesus is gay. I go through all the examples, but like I don't think it'll go.
That probably wouldn't work.
Yeah. But
agree.
anyway, he stayed in his fucking lane.
Right.
And I thought I was so impressed by that because I was giving the fucking advice. I was like, dude, you're so good at this. Stay in this lane. And he did. And now he's...
No, I think that's the way to
Comics
do
are
it.
the
Like,
only people that will be upset at not getting something that they don't even want.
Yeah. That's
Yes. Oh, yes. Holy
1000%
shit.
True.
It's true because we're so competitive. Instead of just figuring out exactly what the fuck we want to do and then going after that,
Right.
Like even with the internet shit that I was doing, like I thought I wanted HBO special or Netflix special my whole life. And
Right.
then when people started watching my clips at that level, I was like, oh no, I just wanted to do comedy. And
you just
people
want
would watch
eyes
it.
and ears.
I don't give a fuck where it is.
Right.
There's nothing to me where it is.
Yeah, there's also like if I get a hint of not being appreciated with something, like you guys were talking about your auditions and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm so quick to just fuck off. Then
I'll tell you what
I don't
motivates
need to be
me.
around it.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Like if somebody's like staying in your lane. Like if there's no part of me anymore that goes like, oh, I just want to get into this thing.
Yes.
No.
But there is always
No.
a moment of like weird jealousy, even though you're right, even though you don't want it. Like when a festival happens, like a cluster fest or something like that,
Yeah.
and like I don't want to go to that thing, but I do know that like there's a piece of you that goes, why didn't
was
they
I?
invite
I want to be invited. Yeah, I want to know.
Right.
It's the ugly chick that like won't give you any play.
Yeah.
And you're just like, you should want to fuck me. You know what I mean?
That's
Like,
usually my opening line.
this is how the world works.
I'm hot. You fuck me, lady. Yeah. That's a comic's disposition. It's like we
I think
always
comics
want to be
too.
a part of that thing.
A lot of times, if something doesn't work out, make sure you're always working on something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just have some other idea. Don't just put all your eggs in one basket. I think that's the hard thing too. Is people just like you said, you were like this audition, and if I get this show, you didn't even want the show. You knew it was gonna be a
They
bad
want it.
show,
Yeah.
and then you suddenly realize, oh, I'll just do it myself.
Yeah.
How great is it when a show you audition for gets canceled? There's nothing better than when you audition for something and don't get it and it goes off the air. But then I auditioned for King of Queens and got like a callback to it and didn't get it. And
I love that you
Did
just
well.
said.
How did that show end up doing? Dude, I've done shows where thank God it didn't fucking work out. I had a show that I was going to do called How I Met Your Father.
Oh no.
Was the spin-off for How I Met Your Mother.
No, you don't need.
No, it was crazy. They were like, they pretty much just like offered it to me. I was going to be gay on the show. I was going to be her gay brother.
Fun.
With another.
Which I've been studying for that role my whole life. Good thing they offered it to you.
Yeah. My husband was gay. I remember going to it and being really uncomfortable because they were all so the amount of hubris was
Because
ridiculous.
they're like, wear this jockstrap.
Yeah. Well, I had to peg him on the first. No, it was
CBS
But they were like,
Whoa,
they were like, we're going to New York. We're gonna move to New York. Just wait. This show's gonna fucking. And I went home and I was like, fuck, I don't want to be a part of this show. And I was like wishing and hoping and praying that it didn't go because I hated every second of it.
how was the script and the dialogue?
Garbage. It was
It's a
so
bad show.
fucking. It was so fucking bad because they gave them so much money. Those two dudes that created the original, they gave them so much fucking money to just do this for fun that it was like nobody gave a shit. It was almost like
They're not doing it for
was
an
no
audience
effort.
anymore.
It's
They're
amazing
doing it-
how many
I got asked,
unfunny things get written. Like you're like, God, who the fuck thought this
I
was
know.
funny? And you're reading it.
Cats. No, it does. I was asked. I had to sign like an NDA and everything. This is like 4 years ago, and they're like, "We're redoing Queer Eye, and we want you to come audition. We think you'd be great for this role." And I was just like, "No." And I think it's a great show, and I love those guys, but I know I'm so mean and I don't care about other people that I don't want to walk into some dumpy wife's house and she's like, my husband can't put his pants on right. And then I have to like prance around and be like, we'll fix it. Like, I just don't care.
Well, do you think that, do they annoy you a little bit then, the guys on the show?
No, I love, the guys on the show are really great, and they did a really great job redoing.
Nobody annoys you? Nobody on that show annoys you?
No, I'm really not annoyed by anything.
Wow, that's good.
I think they're great.
Do you think that's true, though?
Anytime there's
don't
like
think
a
so.
queer person on TV.
I think there's one of them that annoys you.
There's somebody that annoys him.
Who annoys you?
I'm usually pretty honest.
But are those guys, don't you
It's
think some
weird.
of them are putting
Gay
it on a little
bashing.
bit? Sometimes I feel like some of those guys put it on so much, I'm like, all right, fucking
No, I
cool
actually,
it out.
I don't. I think that's also can be straight people's perception is they just don't understand that gay men can actually behave that way.
Hey, man, I don't have a problem
And
with
then
it. Just
they
don't
think-
put it in my face.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just don't live near me.
Yeah. Like my friend, like when I'm hanging, like I got a crew in New York, and most of them are professional drag queens. And when we're just alone, like playing like Super Smash Bros. And stuff, like my friend Patty, it's, you know, I'm like, sometimes I watch him like, oh, straight people probably think he's putting on an act, but it's just the way
It's the way
they
he is.
are.
Do you know Naomi Smalls?
Yeah, Naomi Smalls. Oh my God, Naomi. Yeah, I'm good friends with Naomi.
You know her?
Yeah.
Or him?
Yeah, she came. Davis is his name. He came to when I did Stephen Colbert. He was backstage with me.
That's the fashion song.
No.
Yes, I need
Have you guys
to
seen
do-
Andrew Schultz's Instagram?
Dude, I need to link up with.
Really?
You haven't seen this thing? that I
If
do?
you don't
I
follow
remember
his,
everything.
it's only on his stories.
Fashion.
But he does. It's so great, isn't it?
so funny,
like,
man.
It's how he promotes the T-shirts that he's got on sale at his shows. He
Naomi,
just
know you do this?
he just
I-
puts
dude,
on
she
this.
has to know by now.
But he's wearing like one of his shirts, and they're all kind of like parodies of like brand name stuff, like Off-White or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And the song is playing, and Andrew and his video guy are just doing a perfectly choreographed walk and dance with claps to this fashion song. And I've become, if you start watching it, and once you start watching it, you'll become so obsessed to the point where when Schulz puts out an Instagram story and it's not a fashion thing, I'm like, swipe. Who cares?
We gotta do one while we're up here.
I would love to. It'd be an
Should I
honor.
ask Naomi if she's seen
Oh,
it?
dude, if we get Naomi in one,
Oh my
it would
God.
go crazy.
What do you do? I've never seen one. I
They're
follow
so
you.
great.
I'll show you.
Check the stories when he posts.
I'll show you, but I'll show you when we're off. But
Okay.
It's just a fun random thing. We always have some kind of random flip at the end. Like I did indoor skydiving in one. Like we went to a rage
Don't be
room in
don't
one.
be fucking humble. He
Yeah.
did one of those indoor skydive fucking machines, and it looked like a choreographed
Oh, that
dance.
wasn't me.
Dude, it blew my mind too. I couldn't.
That wasn't you,
So he does so,
bro. It blew my fucking.
Yeah.
I just texted Naomi.
Oh, this is
You guys
so
know that the
sick.
indoor skydiving machine?
Oh, dude.
This
Sure, I own one.
motherfucker was so acrobatic. It wasn't you.
So what we
you
did is
cocksucker.
I
I thought it
walked
was
in
you.
and did it, but then we had the professional guy.
He does this thing where the song is playing and like it's just like a pan of his face. Like it
Yeah.
looks like there's like 19 takes of this. Like it's perfect. The camera's panning around. The suit's being zipped up. Schulz is just making direct eye contact with the camera. He's walking with the fashion song. And then somewhere in there, and I didn't know this until he told me, there's a cut that I didn't notice.
I didn't notice
because
it either.
once he gets in to the machine, he starts like doing choreographed backflips and dancing and stuff inside the indoor skydiving machine. And I'm like, this motherfucker must have learned how to indoor skydive.
Yeah.
Come to find out.
It's all bullshit.
And if you look at it, he's not even wearing the same color shoes. Yep. Put the microphone so you can hear the song.
You know what? So that just let me down so much.
Isn't it like?
Yeah, that really broke my fucking heart.
This is such a fun video. You gotta, you send it
It's
to me,
great.
send it to Naomi.
Anyway,
You
this is
might
always
need
good for
to-
the podcast listeners.
Yeah.
This
You
is
might
good
need
for
to
the listeners at
repost
home.
this somewhere.
Want more Jim and Sam? Catch up with full episodes and interviews from celebrity guests anytime on demand using the SiriusXM app.